episode Roman numeral X of the Beardcaster. My name is Scott Zakora, and I am the Beardcaster. Welcome to another welcoming episode of the Beardcaster. I just welcomed you. For those of you who aren't aware of what this is and you just stumbled upon it today, this is a podcast about beards and mustaches, not the actual beards and mustaches. It's about the people that wear them and the cool stories and the cool adventures that they have. And that's what the Beardcaster is. It's their stories of all the interesting things they've done, of all the interesting adventures they've had, all the things they've changed in other people's lives. And that's what the focus of this podcast is all about. So if you haven't checked out any of the previous episodes and this is your first one, boy, are you in for a treat, because today's episode is killer. It's not going to kill anyone, but it's, as the kids say, killer. I don't, it's cool. If you notice anything different, I'm recording in my garage. I was inspired by Mark Maron to check that out, but I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it because it sounds way weird in my headphones right now. So I may not do this again, or I may just decide to try to record as many weird places as I possibly can to get as much weird ambiance as I can recording my podcast. Anyways, if you'd like, you can find me on the iTunes, Stitcher, any other pod catcher app or whatever. Just do a search for The Beardcaster, and you should be able to find me. Do you hear that car go by? It's pretty sweet. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter at The Beardcaster. I'm also on Instagram, and I am on YouTube, so you can find me in all of those places. But like I said, this episode is very special. It's like the after-school special of all episodes that I've done so far. And today's episode is with Chad Roberts. Now, if you don't know who Chad Roberts is, then you've had your head in the ground for a long time. All anyone needs to do is pretty much type like beard in a Google search, and images of him will show up with all of his like insane freestyle stuff he's done. You can see some stuff about that in my show notes. I have a video posted there, so once again, just go to thebeardcaster.com, and there's in the show notes there'll be a link to a video that has some cool different styles that he's had. But I also talked to him about all the different styles and his inspirations that he's had over the years. So it's a very informative episode about one of my personal favorite bearding guys out there. Not that I'm so much into like having like a fandom, like, hey man, I got like Barry Bonds rookie baseball card and I got to meet him or something. Chad's an awesome dude. Chad's done a lot for his community, and I appreciate that about him. Chad's just a guy just like everyone else, but he's got a really sweet beard. He's done some cool stuff with it, and that's why I appreciate him. He's just a really wonderful, nice dude, and if you ever get a chance to meet him, just he encourages you to go up and just hug him, like a big bear hug, and just give him all the love you possibly can. There's nothing more in the world that he loves more than that. So if you're ever at a beard event, just go up to Chad and give him a big bear hug. He loves it. So without further ado, I just want to dive right into this interview because I want everyone to check it out. Check out my interview with Chad Roberts of the RVA Beard League. And action. Everyone, this is Chad Roberts from the RVA group. Why don't you introduce yourself formally and give me your exact title and all of your credentials as being an awesome dude?
I'm Chad Roberts, president and founder of the RVA Beard League here in Richmond, Virginia. I'm also currently the president of the North American Competitive Beard and Mustache Alliance, just simply known as the Alliance.
I'd never even heard of that before. Is that something new, or has that been around for a while and I just don't pay attention?
Yes and no. It's been around since 2011, and then had kind of this big impetus, and then it kind of faded out, and then in the past year or so, it's kind of sprung anew.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So before I interrupted you, you were saying you were president of that, and then continue. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, and overall nice guy.
Well, according to your IMDb page that I have right in front of me, you were known for Criminal Minds, Cougar Town, Papa, and Plain White Tea. I've never seen any of these. So you were born in Orange County and moved to Los Angeles, correct?
No, that is that Chad Roberts 1, 2, or 3 in IMDb.
I don't know. It was the first one that came up because he does not. There we go. It doesn't even look like you. So he looks like he's about 15.
I was in there briefly for the extras work I did on Lincoln.
All right. Let's since we brought that up, why don't you tell us all about that? Because that's one thing I've always thought was really cool. So I wanted to hear your story about that.
Yeah. They put out a casting call here for the Lincoln movie that Steven Spielberg did, and let's see, Tommy Lee Jones and but a bunch of other famous people were here, kind of in town shooting, and they put out a casting call for extras, especially guys with beards. Like, haha, you called the right folks.
So other than you, how many other guys went in for that?
Altogether, there were maybe, I think, 200 extras just for, backgrounds and filling scenes.
Well, that's a good way for you guys to recruit for the club, too.
Yeah, right. And there were, I think, about 4 club members who ended up doing that regularly. Yeah. But it was, it was weird fun. Like, you would spend most of your day, you'd get up very early, you'd head into basically makeup.
Wardrobe and makeup.
Exactly. And then you were all done up and in these uncomfortable period clothes. I mean, the pants literally went above my belly button. It was just weird having naval pants.
Like military naval or your naval belly button?
No, like it went to the middle of my body.
Oh, all right.
Didn't go that high.
That does sound very uncomfortable.
But yeah, we'd do that, and then you'd basically just sit around and wait for them to call you on set. So it was kind of like being in an airport. You're just kind of passing time, waiting for your flight to be called.
Now, did you meet Lincoln?
Not directly. What they kind of impressed upon us, and I totally got it, is not necessarily don't hassle the talent, but
don't look into the light.
They're here to do a job. This is their, career. Let them do their thing and don't bug them.
Yeah. Well, you're there doing a job too, so they shouldn't be bugging you, talking to you. You got to think of it that way. It's a two-way street. You can't you can't be, bothering the talent, but they also cannot be bothering the talent as well.
You can't hassle the beards.
That's right.
One of the cool thing was you got a daily beard bump or a pay increase for bringing your own beard.
Oh, wow.
So there were a couple folks that they had like the fake lace netting, like they had basically fake beards for a couple of the main characters, but for the extras we brought around, so we got a little pay increase for that.
Now, did you not have to cut your beard a little bit for that?
I did not, thankfully.
Oh, all right. I must be remembering another guy who was in a movie that had to trim his beard for a role, but this was, how many years ago was this?
This was 2012.
Oh, so about 8 years ago.
Roughly, yeah.
Well, that's what it feels like these days. Time just flies. I have no relative time frame in my life. For some odd reason, it just seems like you for the past few years, you do something, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I just graduated like 20 some years ago, and it feels like it was yesterday.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, rough. It's rough getting old. All right, so what's your story? How did you start? Where did you begin? Tell us about who you are and why.
I grew up in Oregon and spent most of my formative years there, and then moved out here to Virginia for high school, and have been here ever since.
So you moved to Virginia to go to high school. They didn't have high schools in Oregon?
I moved out here to live with my dad at the time.
Oh, all right.
My dad, who lived in Virginia at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so that was a definite culture shock.
Why is that?
Things, I guess, Pacific Northwest being very kind of laid back and organic, and then things on the East Coast being very regimented and just a different, and the South, and so just like a different culture, really.
That's cool. Okay, so when you came, what year was this? About
Oh God, 90,
91?
yeah, 91.
Wow, just see how I throw a random number out there. I'm like
Look at that.
psychic. I'm psychic a little way. Okay, so 1991, you moved to Virginia to
Hmm.
go to high school and move in with your dad.
Yes.
So like, what'd you do? Were you a sports guy? Were you like what were you what did you do back then?
I was a nerd,
Oh,
and so my free time was spent on the academic competition team. So like high school Jeopardy.
wow. So you're a smart kid.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so you did that stuff like all through high school. You graduate. I'm sure you did like got a 4.0 and all that stuff and got accepted to Harvard and all the esteemed colleges out there. So what'd you do after you graduated?
After I graduated, during college, I did a work study with the help desk, the computer help desk there, and so I was a biology major, but kind of got some useful experience with computers and IT at the time.
Well, yeah,
And
back then it wasn't really too much of a big thing, or I would assume not, right?
yeah, it was a different setup, different time because things were just so kind of basic then. Like Windows 95 just came out.
And dial up still, right?
Oh yeah, if you had any, yeah. And so yeah, so I used that and went to actually it was an internship at the local newspaper doing IT work for there, and then that just kind of grew into like a full time thing once I graduated.
Oh, cool. So it kind of sounds like everything just kind of happened nicely for you then.
Yeah, I mean that was a kind of a nice coincidence.
Well, because you're a smart guy, that's why. Smart guys get everything handed to them, just like the jock guys. When they're all good at everything, you get whatever you want.
On a silver platter.
That's right.
It's hard to eat with a silver spoon in my mouth.
I know I can't even talk.
Can
Okay,
you
so,
even understand me?
no, I really can't. You sound like you have two silver spoons in your mouth. One for smarts and one for excessive handsomeness.
I blame both of that on my parents. They were
Oh,
both teachers.
oh, very good. Okay, so at what point does the beard fall into this whole scheme of things?
I mean, even like freshman year of college, I grew my first kind of douchey 90s goatee.
Yeah, I had those two. I think you and I are probably about the same age, so we probably went through the same facial hair experiences.
And I pretty much always had that. I don't think I did like a actual full beard until later on. The funny thing was one of the things my dad kind of asked me for college, like, hey, don't be one of those guys with the big beard on campus, whatever, whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't really give a shit. So I never really did until later on, like, God, what was it? 2010, 2011, something like that. Actually, kind of grew it out
Hmm.
just to see.
And is that the rest is history, or is there more to it?
Oh, I kept it. I grew it out that year and liked it, and then I trimmed it back for spring, like everyone is supposed to do. And then I did like in different phases, and so I have me with like a like faux mutton chops or like a big crazy mustache, that sort of thing. But I just trimmed it down to like a one or a two guard, so it wasn't all that bad. But so I kept just the short beard for the next year, and then once I think October rolled around, like all right, well let's do it again, and then I never hit that phase to trim it back. I'm like, well, let's see what this thing does.
That's cool. So then, all right. So you get to a point where you've grown it for a while. Where does start doing freestyle stuff come in? How does that all come into play?
Let's see. I'd had the beard for maybe a year or so, and then Phil Olson had the Beard Team USA event up in Lancaster,
Yeah, that was what year? That was like 2013 or something or 14.
11.
Oh, geez, you mean that? See, once again, I tell you, I'm
Yeah,
horrible
right?
with my time. All right, so before that, had you have done any type of competitive anything?
No, no. That was my first competition.
Were you scared?
I didn't know really what to expect. Like it was just like I'd had the beard for a year, and I knew I wouldn't. There was no way I was stacking up against the other guys because they didn't have any sort of length categories then. It's basically like full beard natural or groomed beard, whatever that means. And so I was like, well, freestyle, I can try something. So I did that, and looking back on it, it's it's I've learned a lot.
Well, yeah, you definitely are very creative, if anything. I mean, you have unstyled and everything. You have an amazing beard, but you do some of the most insane shit I've ever seen with doing freestyle stuff. So okay, so at the Phil Olsen event in 2011, you
Mhm.
went to that. Okay, so walk us through that whole entire situation.
Let's see. Drove up there, and it was kind of weird, like to go to an event and see so many guys with substantial beards and this and that, and like by the end of the day, it felt kind of right. Like it was just kind of this is the way things should be.
You found your people.
Yes, yes.
I think that's everyone's story. Like, especially for the guys that have been into it for a long time, they they feel like they kind of don't belong, and then they finally meet a group of people and they go to their first competition, and it's like it's all over. It's like they finally found where they're supposed to be, who they're supposed to be with. It's like finding a wife.
Like it was I mean just in general I found most guys with facial hair are fairly laid back. Like and so it's just kind of it was fun and inviting and just not a whole lot of I don't know, just very fun.
Well, that's cool. All right, so okay, so you do this competition. You go back to Richmond. I'm assuming you're living in Richmond at this time. You said Virginia. You
Yeah.
could be
Mhm.
anywhere in Virginia for all I know. I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm changing the whole story.
Nope, Richmond at the time.
Okay. Okay, so you go to this competition, you come home. How did you do?
Did not place. I don't think they even released scores for everyone else at that point.
Okay, so you pretty much left the event being a loser.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but that's okay because you felt like a winner in your heart because you found these new people that you could relate with.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
So your next step is what?
Um, well, a let's see. A few months prior to that was when I founded the Beard League, and so I kind of knew of this bigger world out there, and so going up there was kind of nice to kind of experience it directly instead of just on Facebook or websites that sort of thing.
How does one start a beard club? How did you do it?
Let's see. Basically,
You made a
we
Facebook page and it was all done and over.
well, I mean, for the most part, you had that there, and then you kind of found other people. Like I did searches on Facebook and Twitter of beards, Richmond beards, Virginia, just kind of that sort of thing, and got the word out. And then from there, you just kind of keep at it.
And then people just kind of find you and email you, be like, "Hey man, I want to be part of the club, man. Can I be in the club?" And then you like are like, "Yeah." It's
Well, I
pretty.
mean, it started out small, and then over time, things kind of built up.
Yeah. Well, how
Like
many members do you have right now?
um, on
Ballpark.
paper, on paper, there's a couple hundred, but there's a core of about 2 dozen. And
And
so, I mean, it depends on people's schedules and availability, that sort of stuff, because real life always gets in the way.
oh yeah.
But yeah, like we have a good size of like dedicated folks who help out. We do at least a volunteer event each month, whether it's doing roadside litter cleanup or let's see, last month we helped out with Special Olympics. They were doing ice skating trials there, and so we helped out with that.
That's cool.
Basically the point being to if people see a beard, they say, "Hey, are you with the Beard League?" They do a lot of awesome shit. It's so the beard is more of a sign of a positive connotation than, oh look, it's that the guy begging on the median again.
Yeah, well, you're giving the facial hair a good name as opposed to the guy in the middle of the road begging for money a bad
Right.
name. Even though he might not be giving a bad name, he just might be down on his luck. But most of those guys are just trying to get a couple bucks to get their next fix.
Yeah. So we were basically trying to put a better face on all that.
You are a good spokesperson for that in that town. I'll tell you what, you do amazing beard. You are a good representative for Richmond, Virginia. I'll tell you that much.
Well, thank you.
Well, and I know most of the other guys too that are part of your club that are just outstanding guys. And that's another thing to be said about beard clubs is when you go to these different events and you meet everyone for the first time, there's an easy connection because you automatically know you have something in common. But then it just kind of, next thing you know, it's like you guys are like interacting all the time outside of these things. Everyone starts to become like a lot closer and everyone becomes good friends and everyone keeps in touch like all year long, even outside of all these events. So it's a bigger family than just your local community.
Right. Yeah. Like I've always said, it's now if I have like some sort of a stupid layover in L.A. or Atlanta or wherever, I could name off 2 or 3 folks. I could probably shoot a message to saying, "Hey, I'm stuck here for the next 8 hours. Do you want to go grab a beer somewhere?"
Or ride a donkey.
Yeah. For my Tijuana connections.
Well, yeah. Or if you're in like Colorado and you're by the Grand Canyon, it'd be like, hey, let's go ride donkeys for a couple hours. You got to explore wherever you're at. You got to explore.
Well, that's the thing. Like this has also been, I guess, given me more of an excuse to go out and go to different parts of the country. Like I never went on this many road trips in college.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the same with me. I mean, I've traveled a lot. And I've traveled a lot more just because of the beard stuff. And I mean, not as much as I probably could, but it's definitely a good way to get out and see the country for sure.
Yeah. And then all the events are pretty much for supporting local charities, and so I mean that definitely adds to it.
All right, so let's talk.
It's a lot easier to say yes to that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, because you're doing good for the community, so it's like a win-win for everyone. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about Saturday, April 30th. What's going on? What's going on that day?
We'll be hosting the Mid-Atlantic Beard and Stash Championships. This is our 5th one we've put on. It's at the Canal Club, same place the past couple years. Great. They've been really good to us, and they give us the whole building now. So
that's one of the greatest clubs I've ever been to in the United. I mean, I've yet to go to the event because I have in my town there's a local event that's been going on for over 60 years, and I kind of, because I'm a local guy and I've had a beard forever, I get stuck going to it. So this year they fall on different weekends, and I've thought about it. I'm like, man, my event's on Sunday, so I'm like, I could drive, but then I'm like, I have to leave right away, and I'd probably barely make it to mine back here. But my point is that I've been to the Canal Club before when I was on tour many years ago, and great facility, great people work there. It's one of my favorite clubs I've ever been in the United States. It's just hands down awesome.
Yeah, it's like I said, they've always been good to us, and so yeah, we're looking forward to it.
How many years have you had it there?
I think this will be the 4th year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we had a little spot called Strange Matter the first year because it was March of 2012, and we didn't know whether it would just basically be us giving each other awards, or if whether 30 people would show up or 300, and it was closer to the latter.
Oh, that's always good to start off that way.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a tiny little club, like maybe, I think, officially like 100 people or something like that, and we ended up having to like turn people away at the door.
Wow.
And so, all right, clearly we need a bigger spot.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, so what you're saying is pretty much every year you guys have done this event, it's gotten bigger and better?
Yeah. And the thing is, with us traveling so much, like each time we come back and we have a meeting, we're like, all right, we went to this comp. What did we like? What did we not like? So when we have hours, we can kind of
You're making a custom event. That's what you're doing.
right. Like we when we went to Pittsburgh the first year, they had a DJ there. Like, oh, that's beautiful.
Not
And so
not DJ Tanner, just a regular DJ.
yes, yeah,
She's a
or
little busy
Stephanie.
right now.
Yeah. And so we'd had bands before and just realized that those just don't work out. Like either if people are there for the bands, then they leave immediately after, or if, as the case with most of them, people aren't there to see the bands, then they just end up playing to a room of like 5 people.
Yeah.
I've seen it before, and I just feel bad for them. Like that's not why they're out here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's ways to do it. I mean, if you have a venue that can facilitate areas where you can have on a corner be able to put some live music on, and if people want to go check it out as they're like milling around, you don't want to make it a concert slash beard competition. It's probably better off to just have some music or something going while people are milling in for the evening, and then have the contest, and then maybe afterwards, if you have time, throw a band on or something. But there's ways around it. So, but
Yeah.
it's definitely cool.
Like if we were to do that, we'd do it like before it actually starts, so that way people can hear the band. They're there just milling around, like you said, and they're not waiting on their category. They're just kind of there to socialize, grab a beer at the bar, and hang out. And so that's much more conducive to that.
So, if Lamb of God offered to play your event, would you be all for that or against it?
Sure. I mean, we've had half the band as judges already.
I know that's another cool thing is, I mean, they're of course a local band for Richmond, Lamb of God. So, and I know you had Chris Adler a couple of years ago, which that was the one year I was like, oh, because I really wanted to meet him more than any of the other guys.
Yeah. I mean, again, just great guys, and it's just like an evening out of their time. I mean, if they're on tour, then that kind of blows it out of the water. But yeah.
Well, that's cool. So, all right, now, what's the charity you guys are doing this year?
This year, all the money will go to the Richmond Fisher House Foundation. And what the Fisher House is, the best analogy I can make is it's like the Ronald McDonald House,
All right.
where except the Fisher House is basically on the same campus as the McGuire VA Medical Center. And so while the soldiers or troops are there in the medical center recuperating, doing what they need to, their family members then can stay at the Fisher House for free, and they can go check on their sons, daughters, whoever, and kind of be there while they recuperate.
Well, that's not, yeah, it's like it would be like a place for the families to stay, so they can stay close to their kids that are getting taken care of, right?
Exactly.
All right, that's cool. Okay, so how about have you announced all your judges yet?
We did. This year we went with kind of industry experts.
Oh, all right.
And so we went
So
with
hopefully you didn't go with like car industry experts, because this might not be a very fun beard competition. Then they'll probably be paying attention more to what they're driving in.
We got half of Click and Clack.
What is that?
Oh no, I'm kidding.
Oh.
From
I'm like, that must be some local Richmond thing that I'm not getting.
No. But no, we went with folks who have been on the kind of the bearding circuit and have kind of know what they're looking for. We also asked. We partner with a barbershop here, Refuge for Men. The owner is just fantastic. Dot. She's always giving back to the community. We just had this great partnership, and we're like, we need you to judge for us, please. And she's like, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah. So she's the only one who will never have, judged or even participated in a beard event so far. But we figured her kind of experience with hair and styles and kind of knowing what to look for would be qualification enough.
All right. So who are the remainder of the judges? Because I'm sure some of us will know who they are.
Let's see. Carla Grigg from the Hampton Roads Beer and Staff Society in Virginia Beach.
Very cool.
Went with Joe Farrell.
Oh, I love Joe.
From Steel City.
Joe's awesome.
Let's see. And then Brian Damage down in Miami.
All right.
And the one and only Paul Roof from Charleston.
Awesome, awesome. Paul's awesome. He did our event last year. He's a really great guy.
Yeah, we've in the past we've usually done like kind of celebrities and kind of half and half, and I don't know, we're just trying to tighten up the ship a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely for what seems to be a growing thing, at least with the competition circuit, is it seems like everyone's really trying to outdo their event every year and try to make it even bigger and better, more legitimate, more like classy, more fun. And I mean, those are the things that you have to do to improve it every year, go above and beyond what you did the year before.
Well, like we travel a lot, and especially me doing freestyle, there's a lot of time and effort put into going to each comp. And if I go to one and it's just kind of like a shit show or kind of half-assed, then it wasn't worth my time to take off from work or effort to drive the 4 hours or the hour and a half, 2 hours I put into styling if the judges aren't paying attention or don't care, or they pick the guy with the light up shoes.
Yeah. Oh, because he's a local favorite.
Yeah. And so we're just trying to kind of level the playing field and to kind of show that, yes, we're paying attention to that.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Because we've seen it before. So,
all right, let's get back to talking about your beard now. Now, okay, where did you get? Do you have a specific starting point or like person that really inspired you to go with the freestyle?
Wow.
Geez, I'm sorry. That was probably a really tough question.
No.
You could have just said no. You say, next question. I don't want to talk about this.
I mean, when I got started, there wasn't a whole lot of. Most of the freestylers were the German guys.
Not the German shepherds, right?
No.
Right. Well, there are German shepherds. I'm sure they have sheep over there, so I don't know why they wouldn't have beards.
Actual German shepherds.
Yes, actual German shepherds
who have access to hairspray.
Yes. Well, they could use like sheep spit. Who knows? It might have excellent hold.
Lanolin.
Lanolin lady. All right. So the German guys you were saying before I rudely interrupted.
Yeah.
Oh, was that a yes? I rudely interrupted, or yes, you were going to continue to go on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Okay, continue.
But they were pretty much the ones who had been doing it for years, and so they were the vanguard. And there were some guys in the U.S. who had, but nothing like, hey, that's cool. Let me try and mimic that.
So go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What was your first attempt, and did it turn out like you wanted? Did it win? Walk us through that.
The first one I did was a beard eagle. It was my beard was short enough I took the size and made into wings, and then the chin kind of flared out into a tail and made little feet with claws.
Now, I would have just gone with a beagle. That probably would have been much easier.
If not more confusing.
Yeah. Same.
Always with the dog references.
Well, you said beard and eagle, so I just kind of mashed them together. Okay, well, how about this one? If you... I did have a good dog joke for you, but I'll save that for when we're in person because I can't remember it off the top of my head, and I don't want to sound like an idiot right now, even though I already did because I prefaced that I had a good dog joke that I forgot. Okay, so did you place with that, or how did you do with that one?
That was in Lancaster and didn't place.
All right.
The second one I did was the PBR beer cans.
All right, so how many cans were in there?
That was 6.
6 cans. Were they full?
Yes. No, they were not.
Oh, all right. Okay. So
I like my face too much.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the question I wanted to ask because one of your last competitions you did was probably one of your most epic with the those humongous Texas-style beer cans in there. And I was like, were they full or were they not?
No, like I would have had like severe neck trauma by the end of the night.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was like. How did you get empty beer cans that are still closed? How did you get that?
Magic.
Oh, okay. You know people because you're special like that.
because of physics.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Oh, there you go. You could probably drill a hole in it, for all I know. I don't want to let your tricks out of the book, so we'll just leave it at that.
But
Where does the X-wing fighter beard come in? Because that's when Chad Roberts like registered on my radar.
gotcha. Actually, I think that may have been inspired by Arnie's Octobeard, whether consciously or not. Just kind of seeing the curls at the end of a spike,
Mm-hmm.
and just thinking, hey, that kind of looks like a hey, I could all right. Well, if I did that, all right, order that, all right.
Yeah, I still remember seeing that picture and I was like, wow. And then everyone would like post it to your Facebook page and be like, hey, check this guy out. And I'm like, dude, he's awesome. And then finally I get to meet you and I'm like, oh wow. But by that point, you're even doing more elaborate things than that.
Well, the funny thing with that is that was a test run that I shot in my bathroom, and then at the time I would send it to like someone else, like say, hey, how's this look, or you know, where does this need somewhere? Kind of get some feedback, and I
It's like film
posted it.
footage,
Yeah,
game footage. Okay, what do I got to do on this down?
and so I think I uploaded it to the Beard Wars app, if anyone remembers that.
Mm-hmm.
And some guy in Australia then like took a screenshot and posted it to Reddit, and the rest is history.
Wow. By far, you probably have one of the most, like, I mean, literally, if you Google, like, beards or something, like, you come up within the first, like, I don't know how many images, but it seems like you seem to be one of the top referred to beards, like, around the country. How does that make you feel?
The internet is a strange place.
Yeah, you seem to win it for the most part.
But yeah,
Okay.
that was for a comp in Philly, and I don't think I placed with that. Although that night it came out kind of junky and crappy, so I can't fault him for that.
Oh, well, you probably deserved it then because you just didn't care as much as you did when you did it the first time.
Right.
You gotta, if you're gonna go 100%, you have to go 100% every time.
Ah, slack ass.
All right. So what would you say your best and biggest creation to date has been?
Oh, I don't know. They're all different.
It's like picking your favorite child. Well, everyone can do it, so you can do this too.
All right, Sophie's choice. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
That's
Give me something. What's okay, if you don't have a favorite one, which have been like the most all right, how about which ones do you think are the most popular?
the most popular ones would be the kind of kooky ones. Just well, the I guess the more because they kind of tend to be like a either like an abstract design, which I found does better in competitions, or at least at the time, and then the kind of wacky ones like the X-wing, the beer cans, that sort of thing. Less design, more kind of more fun.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so what does Chad Roberts use in his beard? Other than like not for styling products, but for daily conditioning, or what's your regiment?
I usually use because I work for a government contractor, and so
Oh, so
try to
you
keep.
use the blood of innocent children slain in war?
I don't have access to that.
Oh, well, you said
That
all right. Sorry,
that shit's expensive.
I know. No, we're not laughing about slain blood. But all right, go ahead. Sorry, that was just a bad joke on my part. Go ahead.
No, I will say I usually use I use Mad Viking products. I'm uh, sponsored by them. Honest to God, they're great guys. I do like their stuff. It's fantastic. I use it every day. Like the oil is, I usually do a beard oil and then a little bit of beard balm just to kind of keep things together.
What's your brush of preference? What's your brushing schedule? How do you? Because I know I have like 3 different brushes I have to use, and yours is way longer and thicker than mine.
I have one of those wet brushes that Amy got me a while back. So I tried use well, I used like the boar's hair for a while, but that's almost kind of too dense at this point.
Yeah,
It just kind of pulls out too much,
yeah.
and so I need something with a little looser teeth. weave. I don't know.
Like a
And so,
hillbilly? Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Come here, hillbilly. I need you to chew on my beard for a little bit.
And so, yeah, I just kind of use that to not fluff it out, just to make sure nothing gets tangled or whatnot in there.
Tangles are the worst. So what do you do on a daily? Like, do you usually tie it? What would you say your length is right now?
Probably 20 inches, kind of depending where you go, because it thins out near the end. But yeah, something like that.
So what do you do like on a daily basis to keep it from? Do you tie it up or is it
I usually do the kind of the tried and true beard braid.
Mm-hmm.
I tried like a ponytail before, but then it's still the edges would kind of catch on stuff. So the braid's kind of a simple way to keep it all collected.
Yeah. Well, have you ever tried banding it, or do you find that to be like damaging?
There's usually like a little band at the end to keep everything together, but like doing 3 or 4 on it.
Yeah. Like the Kerry King style.
Gotcha. Not really. The bands I was using before I found the braid were just pulling out too much or snagging or get like one-offs. So
yeah,
I finally found some like decent kind of fabric ties. They're a little nicer and thicker, so they're less apt to do that. So I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, well, that's what I band mine up for work, and it seems like the more I band it up, the more I get like breakage, like right in the middle, like right towards the ends, right towards the top. So I get these like weird, like it's hard to get a thicker, fuller beard if you're consistently tying it up, and you can't let it hang, and that is what she said. But yeah, I wanted to always ask a guy who had a super beard, how they take care of it throughout the day, what their hair care process is and stuff like that. So thank you for your information.
Oh yeah. It's like I said, just use the one, and then because like I said, with the bands, usually it would there always seemed to be at least one hair that would stay with it, and so having like 3 or 4 on the beard, I feel like would just pull out even more. So
oh yeah,
at least with the braid, it keeps it all together without all that additional risk.
All right. Well, is there any other things you want to promote, like your personal website, your fan club, all that stuff? For all I know, you could have one, and I just don't know about it.
My upcoming concert tour dates.
That too. You could be going on your world tour opening for Celine Dion.
Right. Yeah, we'll be in Vegas there at the Coliseum.
Yeah. In-house band for the year.
Right. I say the only other thing on my big agenda is in the end of September.
World domination.
The Alliance is doing basically I won't call it a national event, but because of implications, but the Great American Beard and Mustache Championship will be held in Denver.
Yes. Yeah. I know you have to word that properly.
And so, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
All right. So you're one of the organizers of that event?
Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
That and the Boulder and Rocky Mountain clubs have all been on top of that, working a good ground game.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's the next big one on my radar.
Very good.
Because then I'll get to go out and see the guys from Colorado again and actually visit Colorado.
Yes, and, it's a lovely state.
I went there years and years ago, but pretty much kind of driving through. So,
did you go to the top of Pikes Peak?
Not even. We saw a canyon.
Oh, geez. What, like a pickup truck canyon? You can see those in Virginia. Jeez.
Must be Black Canyon of the Gunnison.
Awesome. All right, Chad. Okay, so just to remind everyone, it's Saturday, April 30th at 4 p.m. at the Canal Club in Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
If you have any questions, you can go to their Facebook page, just the RVA Beard League. You can look that up, or you can do a search for the Mid-Atlantic Beard and Stash Championships 5. I'm holding 5 fingers up, not that anyone can see it, but not even Chad, because we're just talking on the phone. So I could be holding 4 fingers up, but that would be last year's competition, which we're not. That one's done and over. We're going into the future. So Okay, so that, once again, Saturday, April 30th at 4 p.m. Does the RVA Beard League have their own website?
They do. Beardleague.org.
.org, because you are an organized group of guys.
Correct.
All right. Most of the time?
Most of the time.
Well, that's good. Well, I know a bunch of guys from the RVA Beard League. They're awesome dudes, and I can't wait to see you guys again. Maybe this summer at the 5th annual Great Lakes Beard and Mustache.
Oh yeah.
Thing. I think some of your guys are coming up for that.
Yep.
So
good old Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland's awesome. That's why I live here. But I do. It seems like anytime I go out of town, it's Richmond. Anyways, and it's always, I have a lot of friends that live down there, so I'm always going down there, but yet I have yet to hook up with any of you guys when I'm down there. I think
if only there is a way to contact us. Well, I mean,
I know.
Nothing comes to mind.
I know, and I think I was in contact with a few of the guys last time I was down there, and it was you guys were doing an event or something. You were doing a club event, cleaning up or something, so no one could meet with me, so I felt really heartbroken. And I ate some burgers at a bar and was crying the whole time, but it's all right. Pick your friends.
It's okay. I mean, you're stronger because of it today. So.
See and look, we've mended bridges. I can be friends with the RVA guys, and everyone loves everyone. It's let bygones be bygones, and shit happens. But you got to live with it, and you got to become stronger and move ahead. You got to plow ahead like a snow truck through the snow.
Yeah, so enjoy your snow.
Oh, I will, because that's, we had like 70 degrees like a couple days this week, and then all of a sudden we got like a foot of snow.
I can send you pictures of daffodils and tulips if you want.
That would be, go ahead, just, shove that knife in and twist it a little bit more.
Will do.
All right, Chad, thank you so much for everything today, and I guess we shall be talking to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
And cut. Thank you so very much, Chad. That was an awesome time spending with you. I'm so very grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk with me and talk about dumb shit. Not that all of it was dumb, but a lot of it was just interesting things, and I once again appreciate that. And if you guys, anyone out there listening right now happens to be in the Richmond area, around the time of the Mid-Atlantic Beard and Stash Championship 5, which takes place on April 30th, go in there. And like I said, Chad's all about hugs, man. He's a hugger. He likes to hug it out, unless he has some really fantastic freestyle thing going on that don't touch him, because by some chance you might just knock it out of whack, and I don't think Chad would like that. So if he has his beard done up in some fancy way, don't hug him. But thank you once again, Chad. I appreciate you taking the time out to do that. I love all of you guys in the RVA Beard League. You guys have been awesome guys. Every single guy from the RVA Beard League is just awesome. So check them out. You can find all the information about how to get in contact with them or whatever in my show notes. So just go to thebeardcaster.com, the blog. There'll be the complete show with the show notes, links to everything you could possibly want and more, because I like giving you more than what you need to inform you of all the wonderful and cool things that are out there right now. So like I said earlier, you can find us on iTunes and Stitcher. Please subscribe. Please rate. Please share. I implore you all to share. I'm trying to get the words out there. I have so many great people coming up in future interviews that just need to get their message out, and I want more people to hear about them. So if you could just do that for me today, that'd be awesome. It'd be the best birthday gift I'd ever got, even though my birthday's not till November, but I don't want you to wait till November to actually share it with everyone. Just, you can do it now. That'd be really cool. That'd be like a really good full moon present, because that comes up next week. Yeah, regardless, whatever you choose to do. If you don't like this episode for some odd reason, then that's fine. Just don't tell anyone and go live your life. But if you do like it, share it with one of your friends. Who's to say that your little brother Steve, isn't all 18 years old of him wants to just start growing a beard or something, and this inspires him. I can't predict that, neither can you, but let's just hope for the best. So like I said, you can find us on iTunes and Stitcher. Like it, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And I guess that's about it. I'd like to thank one last thing. I'd like to thank Waffender Whisker Oil for being an awesome supporter of the show. They've done so much for me, and I love you guys. Thank you, Matt. You guys got awesome products. Definitely check them out if you're looking for a new type of oil. Please check them out. But if you're also looking for any other kinds of oils, I'd like to tell you about Groomed Gorilla. They have some awesome products. And I'd also like to tell you about Brutal Beard, which is another great company out of Cleveland. Check them out too. But you'll be hearing more about them in future episodes. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Let's let you get back to your life now. Let's get back to enjoying being with our families. Let's get back to enjoying being or doing things for people, helping people out. That's what I want. That's what I want everyone to do. I want everyone to just go out and do something awesome for someone. Make a difference in someone's life. That's all I ask. Just be awesome. Be cool. Make a difference. And on that note, I'm going to sign off. And thanks for listening. Share and have an awesome day. Thank you.